Hi, everybody. So, my name is Simriti, and I'll be taking you through a small introduction to verbs. More specifically, what are verbs, when to use them, and how to use them. Okay, so what's your favorite movie? Then that answer could be infinite. There are so many different movies out there, but there is one thing that they all have in common, and that is that there needs to be characters. And most of the time, these characters are performed by actors. Like we see in this picture, we have different actors that are performing for a scene or for a play in this case, but also applicable to a movie. So, verbs are like that. Verbs are like these performers on stage. They tell the tale of actions, they link thoughts, and they also just add emotion to our expressions. They're the ones that perform action so everything else can take place. So we need verbs so everything else can happen in a scene or everything else can happen to describe everything else that is happening. So let's go with one simple example here. The cat runs. So here the verb is runs. It's describing what the subject of the sentence, in this case, the cat, is doing. So without saying the cat runs, without the verb in this sentence, we have no information about the action that's taking place. And so nothing is really taking place. But with the verb, everything can take place. So so let's go through a few more examples here. So the dog walks. Actually, I'll read through these and then pause this video and try to identify the verb in each of these sentences. I know we're very early on in this lesson, but just try to identify the verb. Okay, so we have the dog walks, she smiled, the doctor ate pizza, the student finished her homework. Okay, in all of these sentences, we have a subject and a verb. The subject the verb describes what the subject is doing. It describes the action that's taking place. So, please pause this video now, identify the subject and the verb, and then we'll go through that in just a second. Okay, if you've reached this part, I'm guessing that you have gone through these and tried to identify the verb in your own time. So the dog walks. Here the verb is walks, and the subject is the dog. Walking is describing the action of the dog. She smiled. Here smiled represents the verb, and she is the subject. The action is described by the verb smiled, and the subject is she. Okay. The doctor ate pizza. So here, ate is the verb. It's the past tense of eat, and it represents what the doctor is doing. The doctor is eating, and he ate in the past tense, or they ate in the past tense. The student finished her homework. So here, finished is the verb because it's describing what the subject did, the student did. Okay, so just like how there are many different types of movies or there are many different roles and characters in a movie, there are also many different types of verbs. And they all serve separate functions. So we have action verbs. These show physical or mental action. So like the cat runs, that represents a physical action, or I feel sad, that represents a mental action. These are all action verbs. We'll go through these all in further detail later on, but just try to get a basic understanding of them now. Linking verbs. So these connect the subject to more information about it. So I am a student. In that case, am is the verb, and we use it to link me, the subject, to more information about me, which is the fact that I am a student. Or he can swim. So in that case, he is the subject, and we're connecting it to more information about him, which is the fact that he can swim. Okay. Irregular verbs, these are very complicated, and we'll go through them at the end of the lesson, but they're generally verbs that don't follow the usual rules that we use. You've probably seen a lot of these. You most likely seen a lot of these, and it's usually very the only way you can remember all of them really is like getting a feel for them and using them. For example, like we used just before, the doctor ate pizza. You see how in the sentence before we said she smiled, right? Because the past tense of to smile is smiled. Here, the doctor ate pizza is the past tense of eat. So it's not eated. It's not the doctor eated pizza. It's the doctor ate pizza. And that's an irregular verb because we're not conjugating it the same way we conjugated smiled. Okay, and then the last type of verbs are helping verbs. These work with main verbs to create different tenses. So we use these to create different tenses, like I will go to the park, I will watch the movie, I have finished my homework. These, so yeah, they're mainly just used to communicate different tenses. Let's look through some basic examples. So, action verbs. The kids play in the park. Here, can you identify the verb? Yep, play. So, the kids play in the park. This represents, as we said before, it shows a physical action. A physical or mental action is what a verb is, and this is showing the physical action, which is to play. Linking verbs. So here, she is a teacher. Here, the verb is links she to the information about her being a teacher. I went to the park. So here, go becomes went in the past tense. They have finished their homework. The helping verb is have, and it works with finished to represent changing tenses to represent the past tense. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching and paying attention. Next time, we'll cover the types of verbs. Yeah, again, thank you, goodbye, and see you next time.